So that sort of summarizes the whole airflow component of things, and basically the functionality. The second component that we're going to look at is our aeration fans. Before I get into the actual aeration fan, I'd like to just discuss static pressure. It's a term that's commonly used, and it's something that it's really good to understand exactly what it's referring to. And the plain and simple is it's the discharge pressure on the fan. So it is basically what pressure that fan is pushing against. Here's some static gauges and static pressure gauges, and that's where you want to be installing them, just downstream of your fan and in the transition, so you know exactly what pressure that fan is pushing against. The units of measure for static pressure are inches of water, and that's something that's really hard to get your head around because it's hard to appreciate how small a pressure we're dealing with. Just to give you a bit of a feel, 1 inch of water is 0.0361 psi. So it takes 27.7 inches of water to make up 1 pound per square inch, which is super small. Here's just a bit of a to give you a bit of a feel for how small it is. This is just a normal balloon that I blew up, and I put a static pressure gauge on it, and you can see that reads 6 inches of water. So when we're dealing in inches of water, we're talking about the type of pressure that the human lung can put out, not the type of pressures that an air compressor can put out. Poorly engineered. When it comes to static pressure, the biggest cause for high static pressure are poorly engineered aeration system components, and this can, you know, again, it comes down to the fact that these aeration systems are just put in bins, and there's no attention to the technical design, and in many instances they're undersized. But it also includes putting too much grain in your bin. It adds lots of static pressure, back pressure, and having too small vents. Those items will be looked at in a future webinar, but that is what causes high static pressure. Now, for today's today's webinar is looking at how every fan has its own independent fan curve. So ultimately, all fans aren't created equal.